Hey there. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? If so, then I want to talk to you today about something that's crucial for your success, and that's understanding basic technical concepts. So, in today's business world, everything is fast paced, technology is moving even faster. So, it's a necessity for us to just understand technology. Whether you're running a startup, whether it's an established company, having a grasp of tech fundamentals can make all the difference. And that's where this course, Tech for the Rest of Us, comes in. So, this course is specifically designed for non technical founders and entrepreneurs, those of us who want to demystify technology and use it to their advantage. You know, there's a difference between a jazz musician who plays by ear and a classically trained musician. Both can play beautiful music, but understanding the language of music can take a jazz musician's improvisational skills to brand new heights. Me, myself, I didn't follow a traditional path into tech. I'm self taught. I learned business through trial and error. So I see myself more as that jazz musician who, once I learned the formal language of technology and business, I started to reach new heights. Imagine being able to communicate effectively with your tech team, understanding what their challenges are, and also being able to help them make informed decisions. This course can equip you with the knowledge to bridge that gap. Technology isn't just about coding, as most people think. It's about really making smarter business decisions. And that can be from choosing the right technology stack to understanding data analytics. But all of those things are in this course, and this course can help you to lead with more confidence. So some of you might be thinking, well, I'm not a tech person, so this might be a little bit too difficult for me. Yeah, sure, technology can be daunting, especially if you're not already in tech, but that's exactly why we created this course. We break down really complex tech concepts into easy to understand lessons. You may be worried about time. I know as a founder or a business person, your time is precious. Our course is structured into short, manageable modules that you can complete at your own pace. Each video is no longer than 10 minutes, so you can easily fit that learning into your busy schedule. You might also be wondering, well, why should I take a look at this course or pay for this course when there are so many free resources online? And yeah, free resources can be helpful. Our course offers a curated, structured learning path that you won't find with all these scattered resources that are online. You'll benefit from experts' insights, practical examples, and just a cohesive curriculum that was specifically designed with non technical founders in mind. Now, let's jump into a quick mini lesson so you can get a taste of what you'll cover in the course. Okay, so let's do a quick LLM primer, right? You've probably heard the term before. You've probably used at this point Gemini or Chat GPT, but let's kind of just dive in quickly and maybe talk a little bit more about what it is, how they work, what they're good at. So LLM stands for large language model, and large language models are just an advanced type of artificial intelligence. And that allows us to be able to generate human-like text. At this point, we're generating videos, we're generating images. Now, how do LLMs do that? Well, they're trained on a huge amount of data, and then through that training, and training just means, in terms of machine learning, when you train something or when you're training a model, essentially what you're doing is you're just giving it a bunch of data and allowing it to learn patterns, right? And so over time, because of the technology, large language models will understand the nuances of languages, which then means that it can understand what it's being asked, and then it can give responses that are the most statistically probable to be correct, right? And then that allows us to do all kinds of really cool things. So the underlying technology of an LLM is that it's a neural network. So neural networks are a type of model in machine learning, right? And so this is just a really, really complex or really, really advanced neural network. And that neural network, the specific kind of neural network that it is a transformer. So transformers were actually I believe that they were actually first discovered, or this approach actually started at Google. There's a paper a research paper called All You Need Is Attention. If you're interested in understanding, it's widely available. But it started off just as a way for us to take one language and translate it into another. But then we realized that there were a lot of different applications and ways that we could advance that technology. And so that same sort of technology or underlying capability then allows for large language models to do a couple of different things really well. One of those being content generation. So again, the video, um, the art, and images, but then also text, right? So it can understand text really, really well. And usually, when we're working with an LLM, we're prompting it through text, so it understands the text, and then it can generate something else that may not be text. One of the ways that that becomes really, really valuable, though, is customer support, right? So, using the example or the original intent of the transformer, let's say that we're doing customer service, right? And if we're a global product, then we may have customer agents who speak a different language than the customers themselves. And so large language models have a lot of efficacy when it comes to translating one language into another and then taking the response and translating that back. And so huge implications there for customer support, along with the fact that you can give it FAQ documents, for example, and then it will learn how to respond in your specific context. And so that's really helpful. Another thing that LLMs do really well is data analysis. And so we can give it, again, this is ultimately just text, right? So you can give an LLM massive amounts of data, and then you can prompt it, you can ask it questions, and then it will basically do data analysis. And another thing is just context understanding, right? And so, when you think about the implications of understanding context, whether that is developer documentation or whatever that is, then this gives us a lot of power that we can use for a lot of different things. Now, what are some of the things that LLMs aren't really that great at? Or at least what are some of the issues? Well, one issue is just accuracy, right? So again, understanding that LLMs are just predicting what is the next most statistically probable word or set of words, that also means that in the event that it doesn't have the requisite information it needs to answer a question, it will not tell you that it doesn't have the answers. It will then just generate what is, probably what is the most statistically probable answer, which will be wrong, right? And so that's called hallucination. So LLMs will make up something if they don't have the answer. Now they do have, or there are approaches that that you can use in order to help ground, is what we call ground LLMs, to make them more accurate. Another thing that LLMs tend to not be good at, or what are some of the issues, is understanding nuance, right? So words can have different meanings depending on the context in which they're being used, who's using them, and when they're using them. So again, because this LLM is just being trained on data and is just using mathematics to predict and understand, sometimes the LLMs can miss nuance. And, that can be a problem, right? Especially if we're using it in a business context. And then lastly, one of the biggest issues that we have with large language models is that the issue of bias, right? So ultimately, the large language model is going to produce results based on the data that it's been trained on, right? And so depending on where we get that data from, when that data was produced, who collected that data, there are so many different variables just when it comes to data integrity that bias can be an issue, and it's something that you have to control for. All right, so that was a quick primer on large language models, right? Take the first step to becoming a tech savvy leader. Go ahead and sign up for the course. Click the link below. If you have any questions, you can respond directly back to this email. I can't wait to see you in the course, right? And in the next mini lesson that you'll get in a few days, I'll talk about some of the approaches that we take to make our LLMs more accurate and ground them. Talk to you soon.